I'm going to do a demo. Okay. It looks like I was kicked out. Oh, here. You can still the host record on. Okay, all set. First of all, I'd like to New Year to everybody. Today is the lunar.
Henry,
Excuse me, Henry, you're echoing.
yeah, there's.
Can you hear me now? Okay, better?
Yes.
Yeah, I may have got an echo somewhere.
Henry,
You're echoing.
Okay. Okay, better? Vivi, can you mute it? Let me do it. I think the downstairs microphone is on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, can you mute it?
No, it's muted.
Muted?
It's muted. It's muted.
Later, control. If I ask you to do something, you can unmute yourself. Maybe you don't. Okay. Sorry about the echoing issue. Now we're fine. Okay. I'm going to ask Victoria to write this calligraphy. Okay, I see what happens. I fixed it. Okay, there's no echo anymore. So, Victoria, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, if you look at the chat, you will find the content.
Hello, everyone.
If you open the chat, where's the chat? Chat, okay. Yeah, I typed in the characters and I'm going to translate word by word as she goes. And it's very common practice to write a door, a red couplets to put on the door to replace the old one on the New Year's Eve. It's called Tao Fu. So the first character she's writing is Kai. Kai means open, to open, opening. It's a grand opening. And this is very classical, well-known, arguably the most famous rhyming couplet in Chinese literature, composed by a famous Taoist immortal. It was inscribed on the stone in Longmen, the Dragon Gate caves in Luoyang. The second character means spread, 张, 开张 together means grand opening. Spread, this 张. It's also a last name, 张, Chinese family name, 张, means also opening, stretch, spread, yeah, something like that. So grand opening. Open grandly, if you want to say. This character is Tian. I think many of you can recognize this, heaven, or heavenly. This is a script. We call it the stele of Northern Wei style. It's between the Li, the clerical style, and the standard style in the Tang. So it's found in the period of disunion in the north, and it became very popular with the promotion of Kan Youwei, the teacher of Qu Beihong and Liu Haisu, in the Qing dynasty, end of Qing dynasty. Tian An Ma, heavenly bank horse. A horse has crossed the horizon called the Tian An Ma. So grand opening as a horse crossing the horizon. I want to introduce this kind of mind image or mind representation before we paint the grand waterfalls, because I saw this couplet the first time in a Chinese restaurant, a very popular restaurant in LA, with the Grand Canyon, not Grand Canyon, the Niagara Falls in the middle in Huang Junbi's painting style. Not by him, but his most famous theme is the grand waterfall in the world, like Niagara Falls. And on the sides, it has this tablet. So I remember since my first time seeing that, because the image of the falling, tumbling water give me the feel like a galloping horse in the sky. So that's the first line. 开张天马, it must be an opening gift, grand opening gift by someone to the restaurant. I think it's really impressive. And this is qi. Qi means odd or strange or unique. Unmatched, I translated. Yi, this is a very special character in Chinese aesthetics. If you record, we have 4 classes of art. 神妙人意, the highest level, the highest realm of art is Yi, escape. Escapism, you call that, like escape from any rules. So I translate as unmatched personality. 人, person, yeah, unmatched personality as a dragon in the crowds. That's the second line. A column. 奇异人中浓. Victoria, you did very beautiful work
Oh, thank you.
so far.
Cannot do really for calligraphy. We are not on purpose to do just mimic, the style or stroke by stroke. I try to get the feeling of that, the spiritual of that. So the style is in between, like a standard walking or cursive, but got some we call 金石味, is the metal stone feeling. Feel like you are holding not a brush on paper. It's the knife on the bamboo surface or stone surface or even metal surface. So try to do that and give your own calligraphy, give your own personality. So if I really mimic not my own personality, it's a kind of spiritual thing, and try to put my understanding and my personality.
Just keep your chi flowing. Go ahead. 中 means among, in the middle. The last character would be dragon, long. It's a combination of seal script and the official or clerical script. It's a natural in-between style, you know, because the time is in between the li.
And then later I would put some like seal thing or some
Yeah.
preface thing.
Okay, can you put it together? Show us side by side. Yeah.
It's still wet and I put them.
Oh no, just put this on the side, on the left side, left side, and then the first one on the right side. Yeah, just like when you just begin. Yeah. Beautiful. Okay. Yeah, so you can see the characters left and right matches. You know, the noun versus the noun, the verb versus the verb, and the horse versus the dragon. So 开张天暗马，其意人中浓. We're going to inscribe this on a painting later. Okay.
That's it.
Thank you, Victoria.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Okay. Okay. So far, do you have any questions about the painting and calligraphy? Okay. In Chinese painting theory, or this artist Huang Junbi's teaching, he said there are three sources of learning the Chinese painting. One is to learn from people, 诗人. People means the ancient masters or contemporary masters. I think specifically we will say 诗古人, 诗古人. And second is 诗造化. 诗造化 means to learn from nature. Can anybody tell me why we must also learn from nature, or why we must to start with copying the ancient masters? What do we learn from copying, and what we supposed to learn by observing nature, the real world? Anybody?
Technique,
Yes.
technique,
Technique.
technique. Yeah,
Okay, we learned the technique from the classics, right?
right.
The method of using stroke and how to simplify things. And then when we go to paint a real scenery, we will try to examine what we learned, right? To see if we will have some moment. Oh, we should this way we have seen before in our painting. So the scenery is more related to the painting, as beautiful as painting. Not you just sit down, start to learn from nature to create this kind of style from scratch, right? So it also the ancient art in the museum, for me, I think it's a nature by itself. I think it's a second nature. Okay, so and it's very important that you paint something you have seen, because let me ask this question. If the ancient master, any of them ancient master, can paint an airplane, it's obviously, but how they can paint this kind of bird's eye view. If you didn't have a helicopter like Master Huang Junbi did when he visited the Victoria Falls in South Africa, he took an airplane and circled the area, the scenic spot from all angles, right? And he also took airplane in the Niagara Falls, I think, the helicopter tour. So, but you know, the ancient people don't have this kind of transportation, but this can still paint the landscape as if they are viewed in the sky, right? So this has to do with the third source of inspiration. It says 师我心. So 师古人 means to learn from ancient people, ancient master. 师造化 means to learn from nature. But you have to paint with your own feeling. So your heart is your teacher. So if you like to express this kind of mood, like we just saw Victoria wrote on the New Year's couplets, you know, the 开张天暗马. So the grand opening as a galloping horse crossing the horizon. So to express this kind of mood, you will develop the proper composition and even the movement of the stroke would not only depict the waterfall, but only carries this kind of mind representation. A mind in representation is not simply an image, a simplified image of the nature. It could be animated nature. Imagine the mountain look like a lion, I mentioned before, or a tiger, a dragon man, right? So here we are doing horse crossing the horizon. You can hear the sound, you know, you can feel that momentum. That's just the momentum. It's the momentum that we try to catch. And this kind of mind representation is very important, not only in painting, also in music, right? In anything you do, you have to have this kind of emotional drive before you do it. The love, the passion, that kind of thing. So not just paint the form, it's the beginning stage. If you are a beginning student, it is advised to paint something like a picture, like a photograph. But you have to go beyond that by learning the ancient masters, see how they do the same thing, and then develop your own style with your own interpretation. So that's what we try to learn today. So I use grind ink. So I was grinding ink when I have this running thoughts and share with you. And today is a great day to do this waterfall feng shui painting. Feng shui will bring you good luck if you have a good feng shui landscape at home. So this is a popular, like I mentioned, a grand opening gift for someone, or for New Year's Day or something at the beginning of the year to do. So I'm going to, let me see. I try to cover the whole sheet, but sometimes I want to zoom in to show you the strokes. Maybe we should do some parts first. I don't know exactly. This painting was not a waterfall. I'm going to use this later. This one has the the ground, because in feng shui, I was told, I'm not a specialist in feng shui. Did anyone, a believer, a follower of feng shui? Do you know the theory of this? So water usually symbolizes the source of wealth, right? The flowing of so, and you have to have a kind of we call it a 聚宝盆, like a basin to hold it. So if you only have the water, maybe it's not good. You can put a fish tank under it to receive the wealth, so they don't just passing you. Okay, so it depends on the interpretation, but in many of his painting, it just looked like this. So just a grand, like a waterfall, but we do like to have some rock on the bottom, but sometimes he just do the water. Let me show you some of the pictures, and we may pick a painting together as we did before. Why we read the painting? So we're not wasting the time by read the painting. We use the term read a painting, just to look very carefully. So let me see. I'm going to bring that up. And let me know which one you like. Maybe we can click on like, dislike button to get some pause.
Please leave the message, your name and who you're quoting and why.
Or you can unmute yourself, just give it a shout if you like something. Let me see. Huang Junbi. And his name is spelled Huang. Huang. It's the same in our spelling, but sometimes the first name Jun is spelled Jun in Pinyin Bi or Chunpi, pronounced the same. Okay, so I'll just go through the folder here with you. And this is the painting for clouds. His studio is called the White Clouds Hall.
Henry, on the first one that you just showed, is there a waterfall in it?
No,
Is
we're not
it
going to do
waterfall?
this one. It's a sunrise.
I thought so, because I made a mistake when I copied it and put a waterfall in, and then I left the houses out.
Yeah, that would be weird to live on that waterfall. Okay, yeah, you can cover that house to make it into a waterfall maybe. So they are good friends. You know, this beard man, Zhang Daiqian, is what we will talk about next class. If we're going to continue, he's a contemporary of him. They actually, Zhang Daiqian was born in 1897, 1 year, actually 89, I think. I think the Huang is 1 year older, 88 or 87. Anyway, they are very close. And this would be a good starting point to paint the rocks. If you have time, you can, if you're a beginner, I would suggest you do this before you do the falls, so you get some. And he does the rock in combination of the east, not east to west, the south and the north style. The Fu Pi and the Pi Ma, the earth and the rock style. Yeah. Do you have an echo sound? I can hear some echoing. It's okay, right? Okay. This three guy is the group picture is the three masters of Taiwan. actually officially 3 masters crossing the strait, the strait, right, Strait of Taiwan. So they all retreat to Taiwan after the 1949 Communist Revolution, and they continued to teach, especially Huang Junbi on the left, and he became the head of founder of the art department, art academy of the Normal University, and he also invited Prince Puru is the cousin of the last emperor of Qing dynasty, and he was not formally educated. He was a PhD in liberal art from German school, I think, German university, but he didn't study art there, I think. He learned by copying the collections in the Forbidden City. And Zhang Naqian, we know he's a great forger. Huang Junbi is also a copy, started like 10 years copying the masters under a teacher in Guangzhou. So he was born in Guangzhou, but he was not a Ninglan school master. He didn't really. He was educated in modern art, arts classes in high school. That's all, I think. He learned probably some sketch, some watercolor, but when he studied Chinese, he restrictively stayed with the classic, the Orthodox school, or the Song and the Yuan dynasty. Especially, he is fond of the Huangshan schoolmaster Kun Can, Kuncan. We learned that early class. Kun Can. He's also known as the Shixi. And Zhang Naqian is an expert in Shitao. So together they often challenge each other, ask, you do a Shixi, you do a Shitao. And so when Zhang Naqian saw the copy of Shixi by Huang Junbi, he said he gave up to do any mimics of Shixi or Kuncan anymore, because Huang is the best, he thought. So he used the mulberry paper. To answer your early question, what paper he used, can you tell it? Can someone still have no idea of this paper is? And you should just play with it. By student pack, we have all 3 kind of common papers in there, and just use it, and you immediately tell if it's what paper. So I do think you should develop this kind of skill, just to identify the process, and just looking at this, and you see what comes first, right? If not, I will show you later and why. And this painting was done at the age of late 80s by him, and I think 87 or something. He visited the Grand Canyon, like Liu Haisu did, right? So besides the waterfalls he visited, can you imagine someone visited South Africa? He was there to hold a one-man show, and then after the show he visited the Victoria Falls, and then she flew to Brazil to visit old friend Zhang Naqian. He has migrated there, and together they visited this Iguazu Falls, the second of the the largest fall in the world. And and then after the visit in Brazil, on his returning trip to Taiwan, he stopped at US and visited Niagara Falls. So you must be very impressed. And he was really touched by these 3 falls. So he shut himself down in the studio for several months to develop this style. This is I believe is either, I think the Iguazu has multiple layers, but I'm not sure if this is the one. But anyway, this is Niagara, right? Yeah. So I did one you can see behind me of this. This is too small. You know, this painting usually is 4 sheet. I think that this will be a good one. And this is small one is also good. Just you know, I think that's a detail of a larger painting. But you can see here the V-shaped pattern he learned from nature directly. This is not depicted in ancient times. So he developed this more realistic pattern for falling water from observing the nature. He also used this what we call the shaking, and you know, like this little curvy stroke. I'll show you how to do that to describe, to paint the momentum of tumbling fall. This is a detail, I think. This could be a detail also. That's Niagara Falls, or I don't know. Later, you know, nobody cares where is he became his own trademark. So when you talk about certain masters, they all have one theme that he does this the best, right? So he is the master of grand waterfalls. That's a very Western kind of perspective. How do you like this one? Anybody? Too difficult? That's another one. So it shows like a perspective you look up, right?
Is that difficult to do that kind of? We should learn it.
Okay.
You
learn realistic.
You learn how to do it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do some of this. I think there's one that he did the birds in the foreground, but this one is good, maybe. I think, yeah. So let's just start with one of these 2. I think this one may be easier. Do you think?
No.
No. Okay. Oh, this one. This one is easy, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's do this one. So vertical, just a little tree or rock, but basically water. Right? Okay. So you would start with a stiff brush, but I use a mixture of both soft and stiff. We call it Fu Bao Shi style. Fu Bao Shi is a colleague of him. So, you know, they are all professors of the Central University in Chongqing, the wartime capital, Chongqing. And my teacher studied in the department. So they are all my grand teachers. Fu Bao Shi also. Xu Beihong was the head of the dean of the department, remember? So I'm going to dilute the ink.
Henry, did you send us this photograph?
It's in the article, I think.
Is
Maybe
it?
not
Okay, thank you.
Not attached, but you can open it.
Yes, I see it. Yeah, I've got it. Thank you.
So the key is keep the the ink in the brush in different tones. So the light ink might be just clean water in the brush, right? And you want to use a paper towel. Let me use something here. Let me wear my protective sleeve. If you're not familiar with
Gary, what brush is that?
okay, it's a 富报石 landscape brush. Yeah, 富报 BAUSHI 富报石 landscape brush. We have two of them in different sizes. I will use this one for the light ink, maybe. Let's use the small one for the dark. But even in the dark, you can have some variations. So I'm going to use this. So I would define the bank on the far side first. That looks like the darkest place in the painting. So I'm going to do this roughly here. You see, I'm pointing this. If you fold the paper, it will be about a little over 1/3, I think. So it has the momentum of expanding. So it's narrower on the top, and then the waterfall is a curve. It's not straight. Okay, I don't see. There's only one near straight line, maybe, but it should be not perfect straight. So I'm going to do here, right here, the rock, and see he used this kind of movement, like a waves, like a little curve. Okay, and then you press the brush hard, it will split, and then you use partial split here to draw lines. Okay. And you can push the brush to make it split. But he probably not use as a split as Fubaoshi does. But I see a lot of split here, right there. So you don't want to draw all the way because this is too dark. So I'm going to change to this. There is a little for there. And here, he probably do the water first. Sometimes it really depends. You can draw the water first and then paint wet into wet to get. I think it's easier to control if the paper is dry, and you can just do. If you cannot do in one stroke, just keep the momentum by, but see the detail. Let me show you. So use the brush like a rolling. I twist the brush while I just kind of like a rolling down. Yeah, just like a little curve, and then the other direction. Like that, and then gradually very dry. You cannot really copy exactly, but just get the idea, And some part is really narrow. I like that kind of idea. So you paint the black part to squeeze out the white. The white is saved. So you really keep an eye on the white, the shape of the flood, I mean the water wave, and you can see the line may have a soft side and a straight side. Okay, the curvy side on top like that. So you just kind of, yeah. And think about the water, like the moment, and he does pretty fast. So it's something like a, and you can use a large brush with a lighter ink, not too wet. It's not washing. It's still the paint. See, just dabbing, tumbling down, like imitate the momentum of the water. See, and keep that rhythm. And sometimes dry brush with split hair. You can use your finger to split it. See, not necessarily side brush. Just just very soft, kind of. Sometimes I'm thinking if I crumple the paper may create these bumps, but actually he didn't do that. So I just use shaking hand, like this is what we call the shaking. What do you call this movement? You can do the light first. If you're not sure, you can always do this. And he does pretty slow, I think, very controlled. So you can just, but you have to keep the flow without any breakage. Okay, and the dark is the rock underneath the. Think about the waterfall like a stage, like steps, like yeah. So there's the dark should match the surrounding rock. So if this light, the upper part is about the same, Okay, so there is a split here. I'm going to use wet into wet a little bit, see if that works. It's a little risky. But if the brush is dry, you can simply paint into the wet and just let it blend on the paper. You can add some dark, let it blend in there. Okay, you don't have to copy everything. Just see that's the kind of stroke. And my paper is probably too white, so I need to add a rock or something, add more layer. Just okay, let's see. And you want to avoid the same distance between the sections to create some, like this part is really narrow. You can, that's why we like this one, I guess. All right. So I have to make a decision on which one is larger. This should be just not to compete this one. So make this one the largest. And then this is medium. This is small. And this. I have a picture to show you. We did in a watercolor class with Rob Sherrill. This is a realistic watercolor. So this look like reversed. Right? Yeah, if we flip it, you will see roughly about this angle. So I try to do a great kind of mist right here. I see in that picture. So you can have some kind of fall, and then turns into fog. Just something like that, I think. Okay, let me continue with the river. And use this side of the bank to define the shape of this. You can paint the fall with light water or ink first, and then squeeze out that. I think I got too dark here. So his method is the wash is right away, just like a shitao does. Shitao, you know. So wet into wet to create this kind of mist. And this tree is very simple, not much trunk. I think maybe there is one. I will add that, and then we just paint with this 4-stroke or 3-stroke, 5-stroke sometimes. This group we learned earlier, right? But you can paint fast.
Excuse me, Henry, but we don't see you.
Oh, sorry.
Too much on the left.
Sorry. Let me move my table instead of the camera.
Thank you very much.
Good. Try to show you the loading. I think the loading may be not that important. So when you paint the single stroke leaves, you know, there's double outlined stroke and there's a single stroke. We call this a single stroke, Junbi, okay? The most important part is the outer form, a shape, to try to paint in and out, you know, in and out, not the same contour, not the same like an umbrella or mushroom, you know. Try to avoid symmetric form, like equal on both sides. Just to vary the shape, just in and out, you know. And the dark is in the front and on the top. The light usually it's under in Chinese painting. So far is light. Dark actually is lighter. Under the crown of the tree is lighter. You can paint from light to dark. So you can do light and then dark to paint wet into wet. Or you can do dark first, and then before it gets dry, to fill in some space with light. Either way, it's fine. You can, you know, when you get familiar with this media paper, you know, you don't really think about that. You just think the final result, what do you want to get. If it's light, just use light. You can do it. If not, enough, you can add ink. Or if it's too dark, you can blot it and add some water. Okay, you can still change it. Yeah. Let me see. I think he is thinking about this yin yang idea. Here we have the darkest, but sometimes the student like me tend to do dark, like a dead dark. Try to avoid that. So there's still some gradation, something in it, I hope. And to save that, we can put some opaque color maybe later to give a little, to recover a little. Okay. And another point is to try not to get the light on the palette. You dry the brush with dark, and then you just add water to it. It becomes lighter and lighter. And when it's very pale, just do the wash, clean the brush. Basically, that's what we'll do. So here's another rock. We call that cliff foot, right? So I'm really thinking about this distance between the two, and thinking about the dimension. Like here is a rock, another stage, kind of a different dimension. There's for crossing this. Okay, that's about that. So that's the foot of that. The little. So we would really, if you're not familiar, you're not good at drawing, I would recommend you use pencil or charcoal to do the sketch. If you keep constantly checking the relationship, you can paint or draw with your brush directly. And it's really different, free, Try to get the tight part really tight, and loose part very loose, not even out distance. No, try to keep distance variation very rhythmic, right? And now I just add water to, and see the speed is required to get this kind of flying white. We call that flying white. There's a name for this dry brush stroke with a white space in between to be created like that. You can do something like that, start at the bottom or kicking up. So he does pretty fast. This would, see, I just dig water and then just using the same brush, start filling the space. And I'm still thinking about the wave, the wave, and that they're not equal gap. So this about it. So there's a little, so this is the surface facing the sky, this flat surface, okay? And I'm going to draw this side a little bit, and then another dimension. So he used a lot of Fu-Pi or X cut. I tell you a story. I was reading an article about his technique, right? And in the article, they said he is 石器 man, 石器 like a Stone Age man. I thought, oh, probably, it's talking about his texture stroke, like a 石器, the old stone tool, 石器. And but from the context of the article, I realized this term appeared many times. Every time, sometimes I cannot comprehend what that means. Eventually, I figured out it's a 实习 because the tone is different, but they use the pinyin method, inputting method, so it becomes 实器, and then they just pick maybe the computer did the pick, whatever. So all the translation is wrong. I think it's the name of the artist he admires, 实习, or the Kuncan, his Buddhist name is 实习, I think. So that's, but still, I think that 实习 kind of texture, old Stone Age tool texture is a good description of his method, like Cezanne did on his rock surface. We talked about he was a collector of ancient tools. I mean, not ancient, like a new Paleolithic tools. I haven't used that term for a long time. It's an archaeology term for old Stone Age. Okay, so the forest horizon kind of is wet into wet. So you can just use water to wet it. I just use water directly from the tank, the water container. I still have the dark in the bottom, so I can just press to get that dark. See, and this is a free part. You can just as long as you get that horizon relatively leveled, and you can draw some wave, I think. And dry, just dry also stroke to end this part, make it loose, and you can paint some force from there, and some wave kind of, and some flat rapids, and actually he probably do this light first, I realize. But when you copy, you have the option of doing whatever convenient. So some light ink now is used to shade the volume of the water, so it gives a shade, the shade, so make it like a 3D, right? I wish you can hear this sound, this rhythm, and you can draw a little line occasionally. Is the side of the flat tip. I will use a little dark again to define this. I think it's here. Yeah, this should be a little characteristic that he tried to make the feel of waterfalls rolling, tumbling, moving, with not a straight line like a classical artist does. I can show you a picture of what Zhang Chen did for the Zhang Chen did in the. Let me see if I can find that. Oh, this is the picture he took. See, his inspiration. This picture is from his collection, posted by his daughter. He's also a teacher. See that little cotton-like flower water form, we call it. That's what he got the inspiration, and then become this kind of stroke in his painting, right? And that's the bird. Yeah, we can add the birds later if we wish to stop the water from leaking away from your home. That will be you should have something under the waterfall, I think. Yeah, that's Zhang Naiqian. They're in let me see. That's his teaching. Oh, by the way, this guy is very important. He's the president of the ROC, the Republic of China, Chiang Kai-shek, and his wife, Madam Chiang Kai-shek, was his student after they went to Taiwan, and for almost 30 years, 25 to 30 years, I think, studied under him, become very good at landscape painting. This is a picture of him, and from that's his picture of in his studio. Yeah, see, Madam Chiang Kai-shek is taking a class. He's standing behind. They use some kind of easel. It's good for composition, I think. Yeah, that's Niagara Falls. Oh, that's nice. I have a lot of pictures. Okay, this is the picture I tried to show you. This is Zhang Naiqian's painting. Zhang Naiqian primarily was a Junbi painter. He does painting on the sized paper. So you can see how smooth the line is, a straight line. That's classical way of doing that. The same waterfall, Niagara Falls, right? Okay. And that's original calligraphy. And I bought this book on eBay, but it's on the way later today. Unfortunately, I couldn't get it before the class. It was, yeah, this is another book with that picture with birds. Oh, this is a picture. He was doing a demo in Korea, I think. Okay, can you tell what he did first in this painting? The trees, and then the rocks, and then the waterfall behind. So the darkest dark comes first. It's a classical Chinese painting approach. And probably he did the light first, then add the darks like he's doing there. He hold the brush pretty high, so very loosely. So he can do the waving stroke. Yeah, that's another teaching book. Okay, back to this. Okay. Okay, so this actually is lighter than the background. I think the background is the water should be the whitest in the painting. So you need to kind of soften this, and then the water. He always does a very light wash. It could be in color later on this top plane, top surface. So let's do that. I just use basically like a 1%, 2% ink, just like that. And you can use more water to soften that horizontally. Just wash just a little bit. And you can have some dry strokes.
Henry, we don't see your painting.
Oh, sorry.
Thank
I'm
you.
doing the top plane. Just okay. I just did this stroke, literally like this, and I used clean water on the front of the brush, and I just barely touch the paper, get some dry stroke, but with a pretty wet brush. Okay, and then just little currents or rabbits, whatever you call it, behind the trees. Maybe you can just fog it out. And I need to make clear if this is the water. You need to squeeze out that. Students tend to paint the foreground, the background too large. So just keep in mind it getting smaller, the scale of the water, same kind of, so this is largest for here, and then that gets smaller there. So you got the perspective. All right. And here I just use some very light ink to create the kind of fog. Dry brush plus some wet. Dry brush is good for this. So they're kind of shade of the this rising fog, kind of what they call this cloud kind of thing, and so some very narrow fall within the broad ones. You can just add a little dark if you want. You don't need to create the wave on both sides. So it actually defines the light, the top of that, like this side, you see, this is the wave part. That this part is maybe, you don't need to define. So that's what we try to learn. A dry stroke with the, oops. Let me just okay, I'm in a class. Please call 1 hour later. Thanks. The clouds and the water are made the same what do you call this chemical element, right? So they can be exchanged, inter-exchange. Okay. And if you like, we can add some foreground under it. I was thinking to do that You can do the pine tree, like, or just the rock with these birds. I think that would be nice. Is that too difficult? Let me see. Yeah, he did birds like a Gombi painting. What kind of birds is that? I think on the tree trunk, tree branches. Yeah. That one. Okay, let's do this one. All right. Actually, I learned from this composition that this side, the right side, could be higher, so it has this kind of fall, you know. So I may add a rock top there when it's dry. Now it's too light, so make this part as the host, maybe darker than that side. That would be interesting. Okay, I'm going to do this birds. Let me just set the stage of set the branch first. And you can just draw this out. Vary this length of the sections. And you can draw the branch from outside in with a nail head. That's what he always does. It's a Song Dynasty style, I think. And see, he always draw the line directly, but with some kind of attention to detail. So it's not straightforward. You know, see, I make a little curve there, little stop there, something, and change of directions. So it's not just a lazy line. It has frequent stops, and it, you know, vary the two sides of the Y sometimes helps. And most importantly, when you draw the outlined leaves, when we see here is outline different from the top. This when you draw this kind of tree, it's important to paint not too many branches. Right, so you give room for the leaf, outline the leaf. And this is kind of wet still, but I like the wet into wet, just blend into the background there. And I just do one bird, okay? I think I don't like the bird standing on the rock. Maybe I'll add it, but for now I don't consider that. See, my brush is almost dry, just basically one stroke from here all the way down, and I got dark, dry, wet, light, everything. If you have all four elements, dry, wet, dark, and light, you got a nice painting, right? I may not just, you know, may not draw this too much time. So I will just paint with vermilion later. Let me just paint the bird with color. So we're going to use color with brown, maybe we just use transparent colors. Brown, yellow, or gamboge. There's only one yellow, you can't miss that. That's for the green, basically. We don't have any. Oh, yeah, you can mix this for the purples. And for the leaves, you can use vermilion. Oh, we got some opaque in vermilion and indigo or cello, if you like. Cello is kind of too strong, maybe. So this is for blue. And for the bird, it's a kind of gray with brown a little bit. You can mix the gray with brown and the blue always. So it's a warm or cool gray. You can get a little warm maybe. And I just do. We make it simple. Okay, let me zoom in. So the bird is basically on the above the branch. It's easy that people paint the branch right in the middle of the bird. It's a common mistake. And you can dot the chest. It's a little dark. And then we can use. Let me get some light blue, mineral blue. You can use that. It's opaque. You can soften it with a little ink, mute it with a little ink. So and we add some saturation with the indigo. This brush is too big. We should use a smaller brush, maybe. Okay, I'll just use it since I already loaded. So that bird has a big blue head crown head. The shoulder is also blue. So this covers the ink, so I can modify the shape a little bit. There's a white spot on the wing, and then the dark wing there, and then the tail is a little darker. Maybe just add a little blue. And I don't paint the beak and the tail in one line. You know, this tail a little down, the beak is a little horizontal there. Okay. I use a smaller brush to do details. Can you see? Okay, should I zoom further? I'm not sure if it will do that. Okay, you can see that? Okay. Tell me if you can't. Okay. And because I really don't really see detail. This is landscape painting, so I just paint with not much detail, you know. So just dark wing there. And it has a little leg. And you can draw a little dark on the tail, I think. Leave a little space between the tail and the back, and use a little brown. The brown actually should be inside the tail, or it should be white, but we can use a little different color there. But that's for the birds painting. So maybe just keep it simple. Dark chest. I heard the birds sing. Maybe we'll make the birds sing, but you won't hear it because the waterfall is so loud, maybe. Okay. Now let's do the leaves. Well, we just do the direct message. I just blend all the colors here to get a little autumn color. And it's very sparse because so you can leave some bare branches, and they have a direction like pointing down or up. Notice the direction change always. I added the blue for the shady part, maybe make it purple. Just keep an eye on the whole because you want to get the rhythm right. More important than individual leaves. So dense and sparse, dense, sparse. Yeah. So we'll do another branch. Just dot the leaves first, maybe. You suggest more trees outside the picture. Okay, now we just combine this. Yeah, it will blur, but this is in the background, in the mist. That's what I want. Okay, I don't think we need a second bird. We can do a bird here, maybe on the branch, not on the ground, if we need later. All right, should I do, yeah, I think it's a good idea to do little leaf, just still yard balance. Okay. You can still outline it if you want, if you have time. But since we already did the colors on the tree, we have to do colors on these rocks. Use a hair dryer. Excuse me for the noise. Okay, sorry about noise. I think this branch could be higher because we want to create that kind of perspective. So we just extend that. And some branch you don't need to have leaves. It's called a Qi branch in plum blossom painting. They don't have flowers on it. Just one little leaf. One little thing change everything sometimes. You have to rebalance. Oh, let me. Here. Does it look good in Qi? It was the Chinese painting constantly considered the Qi, not the form. Okay, the movement, right? Yeah, in this painting, he did some vegetation on this rock. I think it's nice just to have some mustache, mustache. This is the brush for mustache, right? I just did the dots on the foliage. So you can use this one to dot. He's a colleague of Fuashi, so they have probably influenced each other. The style is so similar. And my teacher is assistant of Fuashi at Nanjing Normal University, and also student of Huang Junbi before he went to Taiwan. I think we should make this just like a, because we're looking more like from up. Yeah, I think we have a different perspective than this painting. So if we look at from the top down, we should see these plants. But if we to look from the bird's point of view, you really don't see this. But in Chinese painting, you can move your eye level. When you see the birds, you're looking at the same level. And then when you look at the top of, so you got everything. All right, you understand? You don't have to stay with one perspective. So you can move your eye around. There's only very light colors I see in this painting, so we'll just use a little brown, maybe. I use the large Fubashi brush. Just add a little, very, very light color on the lid, the upper side of the rock. The water usually makes the color more dark, so we don't need to do much color on that. It could be just maybe just a little bit. Maybe blue will work better. Yeah, I definitely need blue to recover some light there. Reflective light, maybe. Okay, and some just combination of cool and warm, I think. And you can use some ink to mute, to harmonize it. Okay. In the beginning, I just paint dry on wet, wet on dry. Then when it's still wet, you can add more color wet into it, and you can make the soft edge with a dry brush or very wet brush. Either way should work. You know. So I use a little bit blue to the water, also blue gray to the water. So just the same kind of stroke. See, see my stroke, frequent shaking. Yeah. And leave some highlight. You should make yin yang contrast. So maybe make this part. See, this little line will become white. Just still dry, pretty much dry. And see that kind of texture. It's good, right? And just before I continue, we need to decide if we want to stay with that perspective, that's don't dominate the group. I think that's fine. I think we'll just write, if we put this like here, the dark one, it will compete with that. And it will make no room for signature, maybe the okay. And this part is very with vegetarian, maybe vegetation. So we use blue, gray, and then the white part with a little bit light brown or orange color.
Over with? No, I need that picture. Oh yeah. I didn't print all of it.
Good conversation on the program. Okay, let me take a look at this part. We need to make this contrast a bit stronger. Whoops, I'm getting over too much blue. That might be good to echo the birds. So we just keep it at. You can still add ink if needed. I think it's a little bit too strong. I'm taking some risk here, but that will make the call for other part to balance. So you have a concentration, then you have to disperse. Add some blue everywhere. Just to balance that. Okay. And this, I think, just leave it like that. You can use a little opaque, I mean, very pale opaque color to glaze this top with a little greenish blue gray. It should be a little. I just want to try different variation than the stone or other things. So just see. Leave some whiteness. Okay. He will just do an arbitrary line like that. Very loose. Okay, I think this part could be a little greener. I'm looking at this realistic painting, so that this line has some color to see through the clouds. You can have some lavender or something, I think more fancier. I think you just get some kind of warm color there. Okay, the last piece of this painting will be here. You can put the ink, I mean the color on the back to avoid covering the ink effect and make it more subtle. So I use the opaque color right on the back here. You can see if I use it on the front, it will be too strong. But since it's on the back side, it will fade. And if not, you can use more ink or transparent green color on the front.
So did that blue just leak through a bit?
Yeah, it leaks through a little bit. It's too strong. Huh? I just want to mute it a little bit.
You are an amazing artist.
Thank you. So there are many ways to do that. And the advantage of doing this on rice paper is you can paint on both sides. You can paint on front and back. And you can just paint, in the front like that. And I thought some moss on the tree, just to make make more detail, you know, little suggestion of detail and dance, sparse rhythm, you know, that kind of thing. Dot is the last step. When you're doing this, you know you're you're at the end of Chinese painting, landscape painting. You're doing the mass dots. MO. This is not the mass dot brush. This is the mass dot brush. MOSS mass. The mouse dot brush. Yeah. This is a tester, but I don't have the inscription on it. I have another one. Okay. It's like a finished painting to me. You think, yeah, stop before you think it's finished. Okay. And you can still add, you know, trunk. Another way he does the trunk is to use a very thick brown, you know, just like that to cover the on top of the ink trunk he did earlier. If, you know, just bring some light there, right, to suggest the trunk, right? Okay. Well, my mood has changed from galloping horse to a singing bird. Should I still write that poem, the couplets? 开张天马，其意人中龙，其意鸟中凤。Phoenix in the birds. Anyway, just kidding. Yeah, you don't have to write the calligraphy. You can just sign with a short inscription. I will say the New Year's Eve of Ox year. You can just, like he did, a very small signature and a seal on this large painting. So it doesn't, if it's a bird's painting, you write the character large, it's okay. On landscape painting, you should keep it small in proportion to the, not to destroy the proportion of the scale.
Where would you put your stamps?
It's under the signature. You see that? Let me enlarge this painting. That's his name, Junbi. We can say 致敬 Jun Wang means his name is Junbi, but he's known as Jun Wang when he reached. Wang is old man, old master. It's a respectful title. Wang, you can call him. I mean, we can call ourselves the old man. Old Wang. It's just like a gentleman or. Like this, the author of that poem that Victoria wrote is written by Chen Tuan Laozu. He is also a composer of Qing, Guqin music, Chinese music. Most famous, the first song I learned in playing the instrument, the Qing instrument, is Xian Weng Cao, means Xian Weng, the immortal man, immortal old man song, Xian Weng Cao. So that's we call him Jun Weng. So just the 致敬 Jun Weng. I will write that later. Maybe 致敬 Jun Weng and the year, New Year's Eve. But keep, you know, if it's a small painting, I tend to write. I will suggest you do not write too much. You can just sign. You can also put on this side. I think it's also okay. I think originally this is the closer bank, so we're looking at maybe from here to here. So now we have welcoming qi, from this corner to this corner. So it's okay. You can think you're standing on with the birds. We have changed a little bit. So when you copy, you can use elements from different versions. See, if you can vary that a little bit in your own idea. So this is an exercise of just like that. So how is your work going? Let me turn to the gallery view. Anybody? Are you with me still? Just watching, huh? Oh, Emily, good. You finished yours. Let me place spotlight. Great. Okay.
I didn't have the courage to do the bird yet.
You don't have to.
I'd add that. I might add that later.
Okay. Yeah, that's an option. You don't have to. Yeah, you can leave that out. The original version doesn't have that. I just realized the white maybe. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, that's very good. The waterfall has the momentum of the galloping horse, I think, and you have the division of different shape, different size. The bend I varied. That's very good. This left side bank could be a little higher to hide the source a little bit more on the left. Yeah, that's my suggestion. If you like to change a little bit. Okay, thank you, Emily. Okay, let me see another piece from Anne. Anne, you are in France, in England.
That's beautiful.
Okay. Oh, you finished the conversation. Okay, very nice. I like the birds, both birds on the trunk, on the tree. The tree could be a little darker, maybe, yeah, a little heavier. Yeah, a beautiful waterfall. I love it. The front, I mean, the top plan could be a little narrow or somehow change the. You can make it maybe a little downward curve from right to left, so it will kind of fall instead of just flat. Yeah. Can you?
Sorry, I don't understand, Henry. I can't see
Okay.
too well.
Yeah, the top. If you look at, it could be a little narrower. Will be fine.
The top of the water.
Yeah, the top.
Okay.
You can just add make the bank a little rugged. I think you already have that. Yeah, just a little too broad. It should be narrower than the fall itself. But I think.
Okay.
Yeah, just maybe a little narrower towards the left. It's okay on the right side.
This
maybe
side,
just
yeah.
a little narrow down a little bit to create the tension before it release. I think that it could be tightened, a little tightened. If you look at my version or the original version, you see that. Okay, thank you. Very good. Very well done. Okay, and Charlene.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it. How do I make? Oh, there. Okay.
Yeah, I do for you. You don't have to do anything.
Oh, okay.
Hold it. It's good. Okay. Yeah, birds is nice. I like that. Very simple. Oh, I like the birds on the conversation of the two birds. It could be a little. Yeah, I like that. the fall itself, it has this kind of split feel, which is fine. Actually, it's more contemporary. In the past, the people tend to do the falls more like a parallel, it's just like a equal. But nowadays, people tend to do multiple falls, and up and downs. So you might be in that trend, I think. So you kind of falls like a expand on both sides. Yeah. Okay. It's good. Yeah. I think that's okay. That's very good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Daisy. Okay.
I did this one
Uh-huh.
from another before class.
Yeah, I see. That's the one with the moon. Actually, you have the moon there. Yeah.
I know, maybe I should, but I don't.
I see that. Maybe a spotlight there. Anyway, it's a good one. I had a moon, very subtle one. If you look at carefully, you will see that on the above the horizon. I think you can do that. I see a spotlight for a good moon. Yeah.
How are the wiggle strokes?
I see what you the falling water stroke. I see the rhythm is okay. You need to practice a little more. Just I see some are good. Just have more connection between them. So you can do slowly in the beginning, and then when you get familiar with the movement, I think the one right there, in the the first, this left one. This three left ones are good. Just this middle one is like a bead on a string. That should be avoided. It should be on one side of the contour, so it gives the volume to the inside. Also, it define the yang, the top of the yang side. Just the yin yang thing. Yeah, you can add a line or something. Just if you have both sides with this wave, then it's a little bit confused, right? So
yes,
it's good on the left side. So just keep that in mind. So the wave is on, it's like above the yang, yeah, on the inside.
Right.
All right. Yeah, just study a little more the detail on the original and try to comprehend the rule. Because we don't have a teaching video really showing what the rule is, but we just read the original, interpret.
Which paper did you use for your painting today?
I used mulberry paper. All the painting I did for pre-class, and today is mulberry number 1.
Number 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 1. You can use number 2 or number 3 or number 5. It doesn't matter.
I have one of Madame Chiang Kai-shek's paintings in a book. Is she considered? I have a whole book of her stuff. Is she considered a good student?
Oh yeah. He's a very good student, just like you guys. Okay, let me see. Oh yeah, 蒋夫人宋美龄墨画. Oh, show us some one painting.
Someone gave it to me as a gift.
Oh,
this book.
Wonderful. That's a very valuable book. Yeah, 蒋夫人.
Right?
Yeah, 蒋夫人, Madame Jiang's. Oh, that's a very nice handbound book.
Yes, I know. They were about to give it away.
From oh yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Is this colored plates?
No.
Find the landscape. It's all black white. Huh?
They're black and white. She has, this one is a waterfall, but it doesn't look like his style. But.
Oh yeah, I can see still his style. His style is very strong ink outline. Yeah, it's a good example of.
She has one, the Sea of Clouds. I think is very beautiful. This one.
Oh yeah, this. Oh yeah, that's his style, definitely.
That's his style, right?
Yeah. That's a good painting. You can maybe take a shot and we'll
Yes.
share with the class. I can show you some other collections that I found online. It's difficult to find. I'm glad you have that book to share with us.
I feel very lucky.
Yeah, you're very lucky. I only find those paintings. Let me show you. Many maybe are not authentic, but I think the ones I'm showing here is I consider it quite good. Do you see this one? This one is a waterfall also, right? But I can see the squarish angular rock. It's not like a Song Dynasty. It's Huang his teacher's style. And you can see the, in the Chinese painting, the dark, the same value of ink could be applied on the front and the same, on the back, except this distant mountain in the most remote layers.
Henry, we can't see you.
Yeah, we can't, I can't see the painting.
Oh, you can. I still.
Yeah.
I have to remove the. Sorry, I forgot that. I have to remove the spotlight. Okay, now you can see. Yeah, this is Madame John's painting. Very elegant color. He has a little strong, pure color there, but all the rest is very subtle, right? Concentration and disperse, a little indigo and lots of white. Not white. It's pale blue and green kind of. I call this small green blue landscape. Okay. Yes.
Henry, whose is
Henry,
this?
I have to go. I just want to thank everybody and thank you so much for your wonderful lessons. I didn't paint anything today because I was really enjoying what you were painting. You were such a great artist. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. See you next time.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Remember, we will start a new series of 10. So I will show your collection of China Chen next time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Next time, bye-bye. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, if you want to stay, I'll share some more paintings here with you. This is Madame John's rock.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Beautiful, huh? Yeah, you see very clear influence by his master, her master, Huang, Junbi. And this inscription was done by Chiang Kai-shek, her husband. And this is one of the best, I think. A classical waterfall he did, but there's modern perspective. The bridge looks like concrete, maybe, looks like some modern material, but it's still ancient style. And this is her simple pavilion landscape. This colored one is very elegant. She did as a hobby for almost 30 years. She died in New York at the age of 106, just a couple of years ago. This is after Shitao, I believe. I can recognize the Shitaos. And her flowers. Orchids. Clouds. Presentiment. Yeah, that's the picture we saw before. That's a Chiang Kai-shek behind her. Oh, this one I like. Do you like this? Very simple, right? Yeah. So Emily, you might want to use this kind of style when you copy the mustard seed garden manual. So it has some kind of tonality, not just a single monotone.
I like the color. It's very kind of wild and lively.
Yeah, yeah. So it has the wood cut kind of feel, right? Cut print feel. Yeah, it's Huang Junbi idea. You can see his influence here. The branch is always from outside in. It's his habit with a nail head, very bone kind of stroke, and yeah, it's a song style. A combination of Fu Pi and the X cut and the hemp stroke, earth and rocky, earth and rocky at the same time. Oh, that's her composition. Very complicated. Waterfall. After Huang Junbi is shaking, you see the wave even from this small picture. Right? Huang Junbi's that's very nice. I shared this in the handout. That's her beautiful picture. It's probably in the 50s. Okay, that's it. So I'm going to inscribe this. It's still wet. If you want to wait, pardon me?
And you think about that office is to protect enemies, foreign and domestic. It would appear that Trump became a domestic enemy. And I wonder what you make of, again, the refusal to stare the evidence down, the refusal to engage with the process.
Henry, we can't hear you. Did you turn?
I turned the voice off because of noise.
Oh, because of this. Okay, the hair dryer.
Hair dryer. Yeah, I'm thinking if I need to add another birds there. Or just a flying one.
It's nice to have two birds that talk to each other.
I understand. That's always a good omen. Okay.
What's the good omen? What's a good omen?
Okay. Let me do that. I'll do this here, talking to each other.
Yeah.
So this is in front. It's in the front.
We have that happen in our yard where every morning these two birds are talking to each other.
Oh yeah, I know. They met. The hummingbird does this this diving from sky, mating dance, and making this sharp sound. It's very. Yeah, this is the time they met. Yeah.
Be careful. You said to stop before you thought you were done.
Yeah, I just do a smaller one because it's in distance. So you won't really see. It just blend into there. Okay. This is a reward of someone look into, look very close. So I just suggest there. So it's a much smaller, right? It has a distance. So I just use iron maybe. Because we have a birds there, to talk to this bird, just so I don't have to write the name here. Because if I didn't have the birds here, I better sign here because the birds like looking at pointing to the attention to this side, right? If I sign there, it will be kind of odd because there's nothing to look at. So the bird's facing something already here, talking to another birds. So now I can sign on the other side. Do you think? So we can just sign here. I think. Would that be a better idea? But here looks like the source of the fall. It's really hard to decide.
I think the right-hand side.
Right-hand side, yeah, because the momentum is going from there, so it should be. This is the beginning of the painting, yeah. So it's good, and also we write from from right to left. So this is the title. Should be the title. So if you put iron on the paper, you don't leave it just like that. You will make a print. I think we had a lesson from one of the students in our class. So her painting shows an imprint of the iron. So you want to move your iron without leaving it on the same spot, right? You see, you can make the painting flat without mounting by just iron it with a little moisture. If you don't put moisture, it will shrink. It will shrink, wrinkle like that. So if you just like iron a shirt, you can flatten it. Of course, you can use silicone paper to mount it this way. But just for taking a good picture purpose, you can flatten it. Very easily. So if you have a wrinkle before painting, you want to flatten it. You can also spread a little water, just iron it. You don't put a whole weight on. I let it. It's very gently touching the paper, so not really create any with no pressure, basically, just the skin.
When you iron, what temperature, and do you use?
I didn't really pay attention. I think it's
steam or no
lower
steam?
temperature. I use a wall.
Okay.
Wall, yeah.
Steam or no steam?
No.
No steam.
No steam. Yeah. You can use. Let me see what is next. Wall and I really cannot read this. Cotton. Yeah. The next is cotton. Yeah. All right. So now it's dry. I'm going to see if I can write. Okay, I write 致敬君翁。致敬君翁。That's a respective name for Huang Junbi. 君翁。辛 this is 辛丑。 think it's 除夕. I think it's already January. I mean, not January, the 1st of New Year there in Asia, but we still at 除夕. So I'm writing our time. It's the New Year's Eve of Ox year. Okay, and my name, and just seal. I think just you can go a little lower than this. This branch is pointing to that spot. I don't want a tangent. I just put a little lower. And you can use the word wrote or paint. I just leave it. Don't have to, because again, I wanted this branch to, the qi to go through. That's it. Oops. So I don't think we need another corner seal. If you put the 2 seals on the same side, it would be not very good either. So you can do another seal on this side. It's called side seal, but not the same level. Maybe a little lower or higher. Could be something like that.
Henry?
We have the ox seal. Maybe just use that.
Henry?
Yes.
If you do a second seal, would you do a negative if the other one's positive?
Yeah, that's a good question. Usually, yeah, ideally it would be good to, but not always available. So if you have a seal, for your first name, last name, I will do that. Yeah, just vary that.
So if you had a choice, you would go with opposites.
But it's not a big deal. I think,
okay.
Yeah, you can use. I'll put it on this side maybe. It's kind of hard to use 2 seal. If you have 3, then you create some kind of triangle, right? So we just put it maybe here. I think I'll probably leave it out. I'll just hide it here. It's okay, I think. It won't destroy anything. I just put on to make this dark part a little more interesting. So it could be hidden there. That's the ox here, ox seal. So just for the year of ox. Right? So it's hidden, but that creates some kind of red in this dead spot. Yeah.
So that's like is that like a
time seal? Yeah.
Mood seal?
Mood seal for timing. Yeah, for time, for the new year.
Okay.
You can put a new year or something. I think that helps to balance it. This thing, yeah. That's it, I think. There's always, room for adjustment. So for demo purpose, I think 80%, 70% is enough. sometimes the last 10% takes years to finish, if not months. So you just, hang it on the wall and then look at it and think about it. You can still fine tune. I'm gonna take a picture for you. That looks good on the phone. When you look at it on the phone, you can actually see the whole painting better. Okay, I'm going to send you an email. Happy painting. I hope you have a very productive new year.
恭喜發財。
恭喜發財, and I'll send you the link for the new class. So next time we'll study either Zhang Chen or Peru. I haven't decided.
Okay.
Two other masters of crossing the strait. Okay.
Great.
All right. Thank you, Henry.
Happy New Year. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Have a
It's been a great class.
Great class. Thank you.
Happy New
See
Year.
you next time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank
Happy
you.
New Year.
Thank you. Thank
新
you.
年快乐。
新年快乐.
对啊，新年快乐。